Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. Today I'm very tired. There's a good chance I may fall asleep in the middle of this video. I'll try not to. But today we're drawing Hulk. And we're continuing the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mural. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so my voice is slightly softer than usual and slightly more slurred because of tiredness and also hay fever medication, which happens to have very intense drowsiness as a side effect. So since the last time I added Silver Samurai over here. I'm not going to zoom in on him because it's not the subject of the video, but he's over here now. Same with Jen's over here. Added him before the last video. So let's get all these losers out of here. We only won the Hulk. And yes, as you can see, Hulk has some funny proportions. But that is part of the attention. I actually had to make his hands bigger because his hands didn't seem big enough to me before. I might need to make his legs a little bit thicker. I feel like this is a repeating issue these days, that the legs aren't thick enough. I suppose the thing is, I'm looking at the art here for the game, and whichever way Bendis draws the Hulk, he often has very kind of human proportions. Just he's very big. He's just a very big man. That's the kind of idea you get, is that he is still human shaped. He's not quite as exaggerated as many artists draw the Hulk. Yeah, it's just kind of, he's just taller, whereas in game he's very chunky and thick, because that's how they draw these characters for animations. And yeah, I mean, proportion wise, the head is always a little smaller than the rest of the body. And here his arms are dramatically bigger than his legs, so it's a case of where I don't know if I want to make his legs thicker. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. Anyways, I'll start moving in here a little bit, because yeah, the hair is one thing actually. The way that they do Hulk's hair in the game is a bit strange, because for people who are unaware, the Hulk in the Marvel vs. Capcom games up until 3 and beyond is supposed to be the Professor. That's why he's got a belt. He's supposed to be the smart Hulk, which is why he's got kind of normal parted hair, and it's just kind of, it's not messy per se. That's a case of where they slightly recontextualized it as the games were going on, of where by the time of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, a lot of the art shows him to be a little bit more savage, even though in game he's still got like he's still got voice lines and everything, and his voice lines aren't just like unintelligible screaming, which is what they became eventually whenever we got to the 3D ones. But yeah, that's your Hulk history lesson. Your Hulk Marvel vs. Capcom history lesson, but I'm drawing it to be ever so slightly more savage, because that just fits a little bit more with what we're doing, and also it makes him stand out a lot more in the background. Anyways, Okay, my eyes are opening a slight bit more now that we're half an hour in. So, yeah, I've given him like a little bit of a dribble here, but I think I might rubber that out because I kind of forgot it was there until just now. But I gave him, yeah, that little bit of spit coming out of his mouth there because I just felt like it kind of, because I was trying to give him the like the connected drool line, and that wasn't really working. And then I tried to give him the dribble, and that wasn't really working either. So I feel like the spit coming out of his mouth is the best I can really do at the moment. It's the best I can think of. And because of this particular pose, I decided to add a few more stretch lines to his chest, just so that it's a little bit more pronounced. That he's kind of like out like that. Ugh. It's convenient that I had to do that pose because I also needed to pop my chest. But yeah, I just kind of figured that would be a little bit more appropriate. He's got quite thick fingernails from the reference I have in front of me here, so yeah. So I had to artificially make his hands bigger because originally his hands were too proportionate, so I was like, no, they need to be bigger. His hands are colossal. It's the only way I'm doing it. If his hands are big, he needs to have big manly hands. But yeah. Yeah, big hands, big fingers, big thick chunky fingers. Trying to reach for conversation topics here, because again, even though I'm slightly more awake, it is only slight. That doesn't help all that much, really, when it comes down to it. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to do a recording today, because I am just unbelievably tired. But yeah. I'm still thinking about what to do with the legs. I think I'm maybe going to keep them mostly the same, but I am going to have to make, at the very least, I'm going to need to make his calves a little bigger. Because he's got so much upper body that I feel like it would look really weird if his legs were dramatically smaller. This bicep is maybe a little much right now, I think, because that's plenty of bicep, I think. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, look, that's plenty of bicep. Yeah, see, with Hulk, the thing is, more so than Zangief. Zangief is very muscular and all, but Hulk is obviously a monster character, so it's a case of where I need to be kind of conscious of giving him all these kind of really intense stretch lines and everything, and needing to look like his muscles are like kind of exploding out of his body, to really, goddammit, to really emphasize just how bulky and muscular he is. But yeah, oh yeah, I never mentioned it, but I suppose that piece of reference showing reminded me that yes, I did work from reference within reason, but as I say, within reason, it's a case of where I had to basically do the whole thing over, of where it was mostly me, because it's a case of there's only so much you can take from reference whenever you're using a character like the Hulk, because I mean, you don't want him to be a proportional human, you want him to be a big monster man. So the only way to do that is to really overdo some of those proportions, like I'm doing now, where his hands are really big. See, it's all coming together, it's all symmetry and synergy, even though the human body is actually remarkably asymmetrical, despite what your mathematics teachers may tell you. I feel like the experience that you get of me when I've taken hay fever tablets is very different to the experience you get of me whenever I am, for lack of a better word, sober. Because that's really what this is. I can stop anytime I want. Okay, after a brief few minutes of technical difficulties, we've got Hulk done. We're an hour into the video. Yeah, something which I thought I might mention actually is that I'd ordinarily, whenever I draw Hulk, I'm not sure if I've drawn Hulk in one of these before, but ordinarily I would make Hulk kind of hairy. I normally give Hulk kind of big hair and then also give him very hairy body, because to me that's what a Savage Hulk looks like, not like perfect chiseled body and then a very kind of weird top of his head kind of hairstyle, and then him being perfectly waxed and clean and all this stuff. I'm not as into that. I feel like Hulk should probably look a little bit more savage, but anyways, that's kind of, yeah, my bits to say about that. But yeah, so now it's the dots. I anticipate this being mostly time lapse, this video, as I said in the beginning. I am very tired, even though I mentioned that some of me has woken up a little bit. I am still very tired. Hopefully the rest of this will be quick, because I've not got much else to draw. Well, colouring will be fairly fast, because he's only got 4 colours, being his hair, his skin, his pants and his belt. So, yeah. Oh god, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I suppose a lot of the stuff in terms of like the kind of the rippling muscle and all that stuff is I mentioned earlier on and all this stuff, so I don't know, it feels like, I need to make that smaller, it feels like, realistically, I've kind of already gone through all the stuff I needed to, I think. And again, I mean, I feel like there's not all that much I have to say about the Hulk. Hulk is a character I like well enough. Don't love him. Don't love the Hulk. Because realistically, story-wise, all they ever do with him is, hey Hulk, you're pretty strong, why don't you fight this other strong character and see who's strongest? Oh, it's Hulk. Okay. That's it, huh? Alright. It's kind of weird that way. Yeah, okay. Okie dokie. Okay, so there is our dots done, and yeah, as I always say, it's just something to be aware of, that skin should not be shaded the same way as clothing. Yeah, it was the thing which I wanted to say, which I kind of can't remember now. God, what was I gonna say? Oh, it was something of great importance and value, I assume. I don't know if that even came out on mic, what I just said. God, oh well. Well, after about 5 minutes of trying to figure out what it was that I was gonna say, I don't remember what it was, so we're just gonna continue moving on. So yeah, next is our colors. Which, yeah, naturally on Hulk is going to be predominantly his skin tone. And since everything on the Hulk is kind of that same green tone, it'll be worth it to just do that first. To just do the green first, so that way I can figure all the other stuff out. Next. Now, trying to find a good green for this is going to be a bit of a pain because I don't really have to, but the whole thing is this is basically CMYK, the way this is organized. Everything which is in color here, that's what would be printable. Now, I don't actually have to follow that, I just find that these are the better kind of tones to go with because they're a little bit less assaulting, generally. Because we want this to be bright, this is the thing, we want Hulk's skin tone to be bright. So it's like it's trying to figure out which one of these is good. That one might work. Now let's have a look, let's see what this is going to look like, because this might not work at all. See, the mercy at least is that green comes out on screen basically the same way it does on the tablet, so yeah, it's funny that a lot of the characters that we've done so far have been so blue, but yeah, at least we're going to be getting another green character because it's been a while since we did Guile. And yeah, Guile would have been the last green character, I think. Yeah, I'm still trying to think kind of what I was going to say before, because I did spend actual minutes trying to figure out what that was, and I don't remember what it was. So I suppose I'll cut back in if I remember. Okay, so there's our colours. Yep, that's all popping nicely. I really had to screw around with that purple for a long time because, to be honest, Hulk's purple is always very fluctuating. Sometimes it's really dark, it's borderline blue, and then sometimes it is just blue, and then sometimes it's khaki, and then sometimes it's purple, but it's like a weird, like dull purple, and sometimes like it's like this, or it's the really bright purple. So it's impossible to judge. At least it's a very different purple than our shading purple, so it'll stand out. We'll actually be able to see our shading mercifully. So yeah, I still don't remember what it was I intended on saying before, but yeah, his little spittle here, I decided to color that white, same color as his teeth and everything. Don't know what color Hulk's tongue is supposed to be. I realized that while I was drawing this, and I really don't want to find out, to be honest, so I decided to just have it be somewhere along his skin tone. I didn't want it to be pink or like a normal flesh tone tongue, because I felt like that would look weird on Hulk, so I decided not to do that. And yeah, still don't remember what I wanted to say before. And I probably won't by the end of the video, so we'll just get this over with then. Oh, okay, so there's our shading done. Now it is the light line time, and then we're done. We're finished. Yep. Should grab this first, actually, probably easier. Yeah. This was. I didn't really change his proportions all that much, to be honest. I'm fine with him actually having kind of weird big baby energy, or like gorilla man energy, of whereas his arms are considerably longer than the rest of his body. Like if those arms were down at his sides, his fingers would be able to touch his knees pretty easily. He wouldn't have to even stretch down to touch his toes. But yeah. That's kind of how Hulk looks a lot of the time. Sorry. I am still very tired. But yeah, we'll just do this light line and then I'll wrap up. And that'll be us. And there we have it. That is our Hulk. So you know, I suppose now while I'm here, it is kind of weird how I feel like this Hulk's design is a little different. Again, I mentioned at the start, this is supposed to be the Professor Hulk, kind of, because it's sort of over the course of the Marvel vs. Capcom games became more savage in terms of the way that the art made him look. Like some of the art for him in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 feels a little bit more on the savage side. Same with maybe even in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. But in the prior games, it's very much that kind of the kind of more intelligent Hulk. At least that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Professor Hulk. That's why he's got the belt, and that's why his hair is vaguely groomed. But I made his hair a little bit messier. They gave him the kind of the spit coming out of his mouth, which the lines on that are maybe a little too dark. But yeah, and so yeah, the my brain is really fighting me today. But yeah, I feel like the trousers being ripped feels kind of strange since he's supposed to be the Professor, but I think that's too iconic a design element to really remove. So yeah, that's probably what happened there. But yeah, I think that's us. I don't really have much to say. Today my brain is really failing me. I still don't remember what I was going to say earlier on. Whenever I am rewatching this in editing, I'll probably remember what the hell I thought I was going to say, but yeah, it's useless to me then. But yeah, I think I'll just sign off. So, if you like the video, do what you normally do, no pressure. If you would like to like the video, that would be nice. However, if you don't want to, that's fine. Okay. My mouse was doing a swirly there, and I was uncomfortable as to why. But yeah, subscribe if you want. Again, do what you normally do. If you prefer to stay unsubscribed or what have you, that's fine. I would obviously like it if you subscribe because that's more good numbers. But yeah. And yeah, if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. So, bye bye.